In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Excel's Geography tool. There are obviously different ways of presenting data, and data visualization can be especially helpful when it involves so much information, just like what we have here. So in this example, I have the populations of more than 190 countries that can be simplified neatly into one chart, and that's what you really want to do. As you can see, as I hover over each country on this chart, it shows the population for that country and is a really useful tool to know. So I'll show you how to create this from scratch. Before we get into it though, make sure you hit subscribe below for more Excel videos like this. Okay, so I'm starting off from scratch here with only the names of each country that I've pulled straight from the internet. And that was just a simple copy and paste job. And what I'm going to do is set this up as a table format, which will make it neater and help to collate the data better. So what we can do is we can just highlight all of this information. I'll start from the header. I'm going to hold down Shift and Control, and then press the down key, which is going to highlight all of that information there. And then I'm going to press Control T, which will create this little pop-up here, which is a create table. And I'm going to click OK, which will help to format that as a table. Now, this is just a personal preference. You don't need to do this, but I'm going to turn off banded rows for this, which is basically just going to make this all white, but still keep it as a table, a formatted table. Okay, so the next step requires us to format each of these countries as a geographic data type, and that's actually really easy to do. So once again, I'm just going to highlight all of these different country names. Once again, just holding down Shift and Control and pressing the down key. And then I'm going to go into data in the top ribbon, and under here, I'm going to press the down key and press geography. And you can see there's a little marker here, which a little card, which shows that that is now formatted as a geography. And I'm just going to adjust this row as well this column as well to make sure that all of my data fits. Okay, step one complete. Okay, so now we can start pulling some data from within Excel. To be clear, I'm not going to need to go searching the internet for each country's population or capital city or anything like that. I'm going to do all of that from within Excel, and it's going to take about a minute to complete. When I hover over a country's name and click into that cell, you'll see that this little icon pop up just next to it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that icon, and you'll see a bunch of fields appear. Perfect. So the one I'm looking for first is population. So if I just scroll down here, I will find population any moment. Okay, population, which I can go ahead and click. And once I do, and once I format that column, you'll notice that a new column has appeared filled with the population of each of the countries on this list. Because I've formatted it as a table, it's not just generating the population for the top item on the list, which happens to be Afghanistan, but for the entire table of countries. So the next one I'm going to select is gasoline price, just because I can. And once again, I'm just going to click on this icon here to add a column, and I'm going to press on gasoline price. Then I can select the country's major city, capital major city, and I'm going to just adjust that column width again. Now, notice that when I choose a capital city, a card also appears next to the city's name as well, just over here. Excel has automatically recognized that that city is a geographical region and also a geographical data type. So I can now pull data on that as well. And for the sake of demonstrating, I'll pull the population of the capital city, and then we can calculate what percentage of the country lives within that city. So once again, just click this icon to add a column. And sorry, I need to click on that icon. And now it's formatted for the capital major city. And I can go down and select population. And now see, it is showing me the population of the city versus the population of the country. And just to see what percentage of the country lives within that city, I can just go ahead and divide the two, and I get 12%. I can just change that to a percentage formatting. And for the heck of it, I'm also going to add another column. So once again, just clicking into the country code and clicking the icon here. And I'm going to select carbon dioxide emissions as well. And I'm mainly doing that just to show you the breadth or the depth of the information that Excel has within it, and the number of fields that you can find just from within Excel rather than actually having to scope the internet for this information. Okay, so we now have the statistics that we wanted for each of our regions. We can now go ahead and create a map chart. And I'll create two different map charts just to show you some of the things that you can do to jazz them up a bit. So the first map chart that I'll create will color code the map of the world by population. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight these two first columns here. Select all of those. I'm going to scroll back to the top. And then I'm going to go to Insert up in the top ribbon. And I'm going to go across to Charts and where it says Maps. I'm going to click on Maps and then select this one here. Okay, so I can just expand that. And you can see, as you hover over each of these different countries here, it will show you the value of the population within that country. So you can see here, population, and it's got that scale. So it's a color-coded scale. And I can then just go ahead and change the chart title here. Once it lets me, and I'll just say population by country. And I should just fix that one. Population by country. And if you want to, you can change the style of this chart. You don't have to keep it white and bland like this. You could change it so it's more of a grayscale if you want. Or you could change it so it's a black background, black drop-off. Whatever suits. I'm going to delete this chart because I want to just show you another one, just one of the other things that you can do with this map chart. So I'm going to just show you carbon dioxide emissions, for example. So here I'm just going to scroll down and select this first column, and then I'm going to hold down Control so that I can also select this last column over here, the carbon dioxide emissions column. So once again, I'm going to go into Insert. I'm going to press Maps and then Maps here again. Okay, and I'm going to expand this chart. And once again, as I hover over each of these different countries, it's going to show me the carbon dioxide emissions for that particular country. And once again, I can just change the chart title. Once again, I can just change the chart title to carbon emissions by country. Okay, now blue generally isn't a good representation of carbon dioxide emissions. You might want a different color scheme for this. So once again, you can just go ahead and change this to like a black backdrop if you want, just to make it a little bit neater, depending on your style or your requirements. And what you can then do is just right click anywhere there, and you can just go down to Format Data Series. And you can see here you've got the series color sequential to color. Now, typically, at least in my experience, when you've got things like carbon emissions being measured, it's not generally being measured in a blue color scheme. That might be more of a red color scheme. So you can go ahead and just change the colors of these, have a bit of a play around. I'm going to go with, say, a gold color for the lower end and maybe a red for the upper end. And you can just see that changing on here. And I think that's a much better representation in my experience for carbon emissions. You also don't have to keep it specifically as a sequential 2 color scheme. You can actually change this to a diverging 3 color scheme. And that basically just adds like a middle value. And you can see now I've got like a golden color, a more orangey color, and a red color as well, which I think is quite neat for this. There are a couple of other things as well that you can do. You can have a bit of a play around here. As an example, you can add some map labels if you want. So best fit only. You could show all, but it's going to look pretty messy on this on this map. So if I just press best fit only, then it's just going to add some of the labels for these bigger countries like the United States, Russia, China, Australia, just to give a clearer, I guess, depiction of where things are and help with that visual representation. So those are some of the things that you can do with the geography data type and also the map chart. I hope you found this video helpful, and please hit subscribe for more Excel tips like this.